All right. Welcome in. Happy Friday. It's the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Bleav Network. Corey Burton joining me from Southeast Georgia. It's Israel Troop from Ware County. What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Just living the dream, man. It's Friday, man. I'm excited. The weekend's coming. There's some big game happening this weekend, I think. So,
some kind of game. That's kind of important. A lot of people make bets during this game. So I think it's the Super Bowl, something like that.
Super Bowl's already. Okay. Got to figure out who's playing, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, like I said, we got an action-packed show for you. We're going to talk some big news dropped in the SEC last night. So we'll get into that. But first, we are presented by Betonline.ag. Remains to be your number one source for all things betting. So we got Super Bowl happening, right? So that's going to cover the NFL for a little while. But we got Super Bowl happening, probably some NFL draft props later on. You got college basketball, NBA, NHL, League baseball soon. And it's time to change classes over there in Ware County. I like y'all's bells. You can even vote. You can even bet on esports. So you always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. So head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Use that promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline is where the game starts. So we're going to jump into that here in a little bit. But the news that dropped last night. Now, I did a show about this earlier this week when the news dropped that talks have stalled as far as Texas and Oklahoma being able to leave the Big 12 early. Well, it looks like that is flipped on its head, and now as of July 1st, 2024, Texas and Oklahoma will be official members of the Southeastern Conference. It happened fast. My head's kind of spinning on that, but we talked when they announced that they were going to join at some point. I think the original date was 2026, so they're coming two seasons early. But the impact of them coming now, the SEC is going to have to accelerate their scheduling model, so they're going to have to figure out exactly how they want to do it. There's a couple different options out there on the table, so they're probably going to have to blow up the schedules again and redo them. So, first of all, like when you heard this news, like, hey, Texas and Oklahoma's joining next year, what were your thoughts?
Man, I thought it was awesome. We thought it was going to be years out, but I guess they're trying to get out, quickly. So it was expected, So I'm interested to see how they split it up. The ACC, kind of has their model now of how they've done it, where all the teams play each other. And then I forget the end result of it, but I think I like the ACC model how they're doing it now. At least you got every team playing everybody, So I think eventually that's what the SEC is going to have to revert to, because you got all these teams and, how do you split them up? And then at the end of the day, which is the most important part, is how do you, with contracts and stuff being, signed and games being played, how do you get out of those contracts with these two teams coming in?
Well, for Georgia, I mean, that affected the game that was supposed to happen in Norman to open up the 2023 season. There was that 2-game, and I think it was split as far as like 2031 or somewhere like way down the road. Yeah. But so that affected that game. We replaced them with Ball State. So when it comes to scheduling, they're gonna have to redo everything. So, but to me, before we get into scheduling models, I mean, I think adding Texas and Oklahoma is great. You get two rivals coming in together with Texas and Oklahoma. The Red River Shootout now is an SEC conference game. And then you get the natural rivalry now with A&M and Texas. That gets rekindled a little bit. You got Oklahoma and Arkansas. You've got some old Southwest Conference things, some old Big 12 rivalries like Missouri. I'm sure they hated they were Big 12 North rivals with Oklahoma. So it's gonna be interesting when they come in. I really like the rivalry aspects of it. I really like the brands that are coming in. Like Oklahoma and Texas are huge brands in college football, and that's going to be great. We pulled in $721 million as a conference in TV deals. That's only going to increase now.
Oh, absolutely. You got two big brands, two really successful programs. coming into the SEC. Just when Texas A&M and Missouri thought they were going to get away, look who's coming back. So,
Yep.
it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. I'm excited about it. I'm pretty sure the SEC is obviously excited about it as well. So, it just brings a little bit more to the table now. Just those two teams are going to see, what it's like to play big boy football. And you're going to have to get some guys who can come in and play defense.
Yep.
The interesting thing that I thought about too, with recruiting now, how does it affect Texas, with recruiting, especially with Texas A&M being over there. How does it affect Oklahoma, stealing some guys from Texas? So it's going to be real interesting to see how this thing goes moving forward.
Well, now they have the SEC brand with them, so they'll be able to be more on par with the Southeastern Conference teams than they ever were. So, but let's talk scheduling. There's a few models that are out there with scheduling, like doing away with divisions. I think is one of the more common ones. Doing away with divisions, having 3 permanent opponents, and rotating the other 6. If you're hearing that bell, you're probably late. And having every team play every team every other year, because you can't get all 16 games. You can't get all 15 games in one season, unfortunately. But you can play every team every other year, which would eliminate the fact that we've only played Texas A&M once in the last 12 since they joined in 2012. So I like that model personally. Going away with divisions, having the top single table, top 2 teams, and it's as fair as it's going to be. Rocking with that model. So I like that idea.
Absolutely. It depends on the draw you get that year. You might play, you might not have to play LSU and Alabama in one year, but, you're going to have to play somebody. Also, if they do divisions, does Alabama come over and does Auburn come over? Who's in the West, who's in the East? I think the model of, eliminating divisions and everybody plays each other is the best way to go, especially in a situation like this, because you got a bunch of good teams playing against each other, and who's going to prevail in those divisions is going to be very, very exciting, especially with Hugh Freeze coming in, taking over Auburn, Oklahoma and Texas coming in. Does Jimbo Fisher even survive Texas A&M? The makeup of everything right now is causing some extra drama, and I'm here for it, especially for the SEC.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's some very, very fun things happening with Ole Miss and Auburn with Lane and Hugh Freeze. I know you saw the little controversy. Well, it's not really controversy, but you saw the thing with the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
and someone without fail already photoshopped it to WAP instead of war. so that's out there now.
The internet is undefeated.
Yeah. So, but I love this. I love that particular scheduling model because, like, we play teams like Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU, Arkansas way more frequency with way more frequently. I think it allows you to get more games against those. Like, we haven't played Ole Miss since 2016, Kirby's first year.
Yes, it's been a long time since we played Ole Miss.
Yeah, it was 15-16, I think. And the last time we played them, they slaughtered us. You remember that game? So. I like that model. I know there's a more, I think there's an 8-game model that has like 2 permanent or 1 permanent opponent and 7 rotators. So yeah, I don't know.
For me, I would, if I was a player, I love to go play in, at Texas A&M. I love to go play at their stadium. I think we haven't played, like you said, we hadn't played Ole Miss in a very long time. Just things like that, just from not only from, just competitive standpoint, but from an experience standpoint, going to see, those guys playing in Death Valley at nighttime, how it's rocking over there, playing, Alabama has to come back, to Sanford Stadium, just things like that, that just kind of makes it a little bit more fun, being in the SEC. Obviously, we're the most dominant conference in the world, but, being able to go and play at those venues, as a player, it's really cool. We got to go to Ole Miss my senior year. We played at Death Valley, but there was always one that I always wanted to play at. We got to play at Arkansas. I always wanted to play. Who was it? We never got to go to. I forget who it was. We played at Missouri.
Was it Mississippi State? Yeah, I played at LSU.
Played there. Played at LSU.
Played Arkansas.
I'm missing somebody.
Obviously Auburn every year. Did you ever play at Alabama?
No, that's where I want to play. Into my freshman year, 2007,
You didn't make
Stafford threw the pass in the corner. I didn't go to get. That's where I wanted to play. I wanted to
yeah.
play in Brian Denny.
And
I
they
know I was missing somebody.
they rotated off the schedule at that point. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get more of those opportunities. Like, every it'll be like every other year you play every team, and then the splits from there will be like, every 2 years you'll
Mm-hmm.
rotate home and away. I guess like
Yep.
you'll play Ole Miss year 1, and then year 3 you'll play them again, but it'll be the schedule will be flipped, which I think will be fun. So I'm interested to see.
A headache for whoever's doing it. Let whoever's heart's got to come up with that schedule.
I know, right? Greg Sankey's got his team's got his hands full, or got their hands full, I should say, as far as blowing this thing up and redoing the schedule. So exactly. So in a later episode, I think we can have fun with this and try to pick out all the permanent opponents for everybody. Try to map that out. Try to do that algebra. Mm-hmm. So maybe if Greg Sankey does happen to tune into this show, we can do some of the work for him, and maybe he can send us a check.
Absolutely.
Say, hey, Israel, Corey, thank you guys. You guys helped me out big time. So, but it's good news, great news that they're coming early. That's only going to boost ratings. It's only going to boost bowl money. That's only going to enhance these rivalries. It's only going to make A&M fans squirm even more, even sooner. And it may delay our trip to A&M the following season, 2024. But that's crazy that that there's a chance we would play Oklahoma before we played at Texas A&M.
It's crazy, ain't it?
It is
amazing how that works.
That's crazy. So, but anyway, like I said, you can find us anywhere you get your podcast, anywhere. You can find us on YouTube as well, social media at Bleav and Dawgs, and then at Coach Burton 36, at Troopstar 28. If you want to find us on Twitter, and find us, like us, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, like I said, we're presented by Betonline.ag, but Bleav has a really good presence on Radio Row. I've been watching some of their content. Cam Rogers, Josh Fisher, and the crew and Joe DeLeon are at the Super Bowl. They're on Radio Row, so the content has been absolutely outstanding. Now, we have a few dogs in the fight, no pun intended. We have Mecole Hardman, and we have Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. I think that's it. Now, we have so many dogs in the NFL, I'll lose count sometimes, but the impact that Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean has had on that Eagles defense as rookies is incredible, because that is a veteran-laden defense. So let's start there, and then we'll start getting into like who we're going to pick and some of the props we may get on BetOnline to take advantage of. But like the impact has been crazy, especially for Jordan Davis, like being able on first and second down, being able to just lock down the middle of the field.
Absolutely. I mean, with Jordan being in there, he's got a veteran, D lineman, Fletcher Cox. I mean, that defensive line is absolutely ridiculous. So it's going to be really, really fun to see them get after Patrick Mahomes. And does Patrick Mahomes, can he be mobile? The Eagles defense has been phenomenal this year. You got Darius Slay on the outside, who is also, Southeast Georgia guy right up the road at Brunswick. So, this game's going to come down to execution. I think the Eagles have, a really good chance to win this ball game simply from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
I know I'm a Dallas fan, but I'm actually going for the Eagles in this one. I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is incredible. I mean, the story alone of like what he went through in college at Alabama, then transferring to Oklahoma, then getting drafted behind Carson Wentz, and then just kind of getting thrown into the starting role, and all of a sudden, like, people write him off, and now here we are. Nick Sirianni's done a phenomenal job with them. It's hard for me to root for the Eagles, but I do love a lot of their individual players. It's hard for me to root for that fan base, honestly. But but seeing some of their players, obviously the dogs that are on the roster, Darius Slay, you have Brandon Graham, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, they're just an exciting team to watch on both sides of the ball.
You got dudes on that side. You got some dudes in Philadelphia, man. They're playing some phenomenal ball. And Kansas City always has a way of winning these ball games, obviously with Travis Kelce and, Patrick Mahomes. And, but, can they be healthy offensively? Can they protect Patrick Mahomes? 'Cause if you really think about it, the Bengals got after him pretty good. They just couldn't get to him.
Yeah,
So
they couldn't
it,
quite
it comes
finish.
down to where does he have some weapons outside of Kelsey? How do the Eagles defend Kelsey? Can Miko come in? I know he's been battling injury. Can he come in? Be a weapon for him? I know Juju's been kind of banged up a little bit, so I think their defense is really good as well. So it's all about execution for Philly. Can Kansas City rattle Jalen? In the pocket, and what corner is going to stop AJ Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside? Because they also have tight ends and running backs, and they're really really good up front with the other Kelsey brother, manning down that offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to your point about stopping Kelsey, I think they got some guys, safeties and larger safeties and nickel corners that can guard Kelsey, and some of their zone coverage and pressure packages are outstanding. Jonathan Gannon,
Mm-hmm.
defensive coordinator, does a really good job of scheming that stuff up. But honestly, I think there's a chance they could get themselves into a track meet, which will put a lot of pressure on Kansas City's offense because you're relying on a rookie running back, Isaiah Pacheco, and a journeyman, Jerick McKinnon, who's had a phenomenal season, tremendous season. But nonetheless, this is a situation that he really hasn't been in. Your number one receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster. And really outside of that, MVS has had a nice year, but he's not elite, but he's a very, very good receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster was essentially ousted from Pittsburgh, and he's on a prove it deal. So some of their weapons are unproven, but you got the master genius Andy Reid orchestrating all of this. And of course, anytime you have Patrick Mahomes, you can never count them out, which is why this game is essentially a pick 'em. According to BetOnline, it's a minus. The Eagles are -1.5, and the over/under set for 50.5. So they're giving these defenses a lot of credit. Not too much credit, but they're giving these defenses a lot of credit and not turning this thing into a track meet. So it's gonna be nice.
I think it's going to come to who doesn't turn the ball over, who can execute, and who has the ball last.
Yeah.
I think if it's close, it's going to come down to who has the ball last. That's going to win this ball game. So, I'm excited. I think this is one of the most exciting, Super Bowls for a long time. So,
yeah, no doubt.
I'm looking forward to this one.
So, all right. So now let's go to the betting angle here. So we've got all the previews out there. We've got everything, all the information. It's going to be Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be of extremely veteran-laden defense versus, you got Kansas City's defense, who's really good, has really good pieces, but they're relying on a lot of rookies. So that makes them slight underdogs. The over/under is set at 50.5. Now I'm taking Philly at -1.5 because it's a pick 'em. So really all they got to do is win the game. But I'm taking Philly. I've just got to decide if I'm going over or under because I think there's a part of me that thinks this game could turn into a track meet and we could easily hit the over/under 50.5 number. Or part of me thinks that this is going to be a slugfest for the first half, and you're not going to get to 50. You may get to 42, 43, 44, somewhere in that range where you're going to get close, but you're never really going to get above that. So, what do you think on the over/under? I know you're a Philly guy too. I know you're picking Philly, but what do you think on the over/under?
I'm picking Philly, and I think I'm gonna take the over in this one. I think both teams are really good on offense. So, we watched Kansas City against Tampa Bay. We kind of saw how that went, and Tampa just kind of put it on them. So, and that one was the over. So you just never know how it's gonna go. But I think I'm gonna go over on this one. Just
what was it? I'm gonna look up the total of the the Chiefs Bengals game because I think that'll help me. I forget what the final score was, but I'm leaning over. I'm leaning on taking the over because I think this game could. If this game's 30-something to 20-something, it's over.
Yeah,
it was 27-24, so that would have hit this over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that sounds really close to what it's going to be.
This seems like it's going to be an easy over then, probably, right? I think so, right?
Yeah. That'd be
So
pretty good.
yeah. Now let's have some fun. So I'm taking the Eagles in the over, and I think you are too. I've learned to not doubt you on betting, by the way. So I've learned that in our picks last season. So Super Bowl prop bets. So here's a few prop bets that you can make. Some of these might be on other sites, but we're going to read some of the more fun ones and some of the ones that BetOnline has and things like that. So you can bet on the coin toss. I'm saying tails.
I'm going heads.
Heads. All right. So heads and tails. All right. What color is the Gatorade going to be? Because obviously we're picking Philly, so we're going to go gear more towards that. So is it going to be orange? Is it going to be lemon lime? Is it going to be water? Is it going to be blue? Is it going to be red or pink? Or is it going to be purple? Or is there nothing going to be poured at all?
I'm going lemon lime.
That seems the obvious choice, right? Yellow, green.
It's usually red or lemon lime most of the time.
Yeah. And Philly will probably have that green flavor. I'm sure they're going to plan this meticulously for these prop bets.
Absolutely.
That seems to be the thing. I think that was in the script that got handed to him. Who will be mentioned first during the Super Bowl speech, MVP speech? Will it be team or teammates, the city and the fans, God or religion, family, coaches, or the team owner? The team owner sitting at plus 2,500 on the odds. Team and teammates is the leading odds. So whoever's MVP. So Jalen Hurts probably going to be the MVP if they win.
He's definitely going to say thank God first, and then it's going to be team owners and then teammates.
Yeah, I think it's going to go God, teammates, city and the fans, Coach Sirianni, team owner, and last but not least, family. That's kind of how that'll go.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think the city will be last just to get the ovation. Most importantly, I want to thank all the fans for showing up.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
The city of Philly, and they're going to sing again.
Oh, yeah. And they're going to be climbing those grease poles, man. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so Philly total touchdowns. That you can bet on the total touchdowns for each team, and the over-under set on 2.5 for both teams. And you can do the same with field goals, and the over-under set at 1.5 for either team.
That was a tough one. I don't think I'm gonna take that one. That was rough.
Yeah, you can say the team to score last. You can bet on that. I would take Philly because I think it's going to come down to that. The team to score first, I think it's going to be Philly. Let's see, the race to 20 points. Who gets to 20 points first? Is there going to be a safety? Highest scoring half. Is it going to be first or second? So which
That's
half?
Some good bets. I think I'm gonna have some fun in it with this one.
I know, right? Just get you about $50 and just go through these prop bets, man.
Yeah,
both teams
parlay a couple.
Are both teams? So are both teams going to score over 24 points? And are both teams going to score over 30? Like you can bet on that. You can bet on if the first score of the game is going to be a touchdown or not. You can bet on if there's going to be overtime. Is there going to be a scoreless quarter? Final drive result. So the final drive, is it going to be any other touchdown, punt, or field goal attempt? So you can bet on that. You can bet on who's going to have more first downs. This is the list on this is a list of game props on Betonline.ag.
I like it. I think I'm gonna take me a couple, see what I can come up with.
Yeah, there's no reason not to at this point. So, but yeah, so I'll let you know which ones I take probably, or which ones I took in our next episode, our wrap up after Super Bowl. We'll probably be a little bit later releasing content on Monday because of the Super Bowl, just as a programming note. But that's going to be a lot of fun. So we got about 5 minutes to wrap up. What is Super Bowl Sunday like for you? Do you have a party? Do you have a lot of people over? Do you do squares? Do you do a lot of appetizers? What kind of appetizers? All that
man,
stuff. What's it like for you?
I think I'm gonna cook this weekend. I'm gonna grill out for a little bit. It's not too crazy because we got to go to work the next day. But we just have a lot of fun, and I'm interested in seeing the commercials and seeing what new movies are coming out. That's really one of my favorite parts, not just the game, just watching the commercials and kind of seeing what new movies and stuff are coming out too. So just enjoying everybody when they come over.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more social than the national championship game during the Super Bowl, especially the last 2 years.
What if the
So
Cowboys are in it?
this,
I know it's been a while, but what if the Cowboys are in it?
oh man, you, I'll probably be at that game if the Cowboys are in it. Not even gonna lie, it's been
I guess
forever since we've been there.
I guess it's a rare feat, right? You have to go see it in person.
Absolutely, have to make
I'm
sure it's really happening.
I'm not one to have a lot of people over. Our Huck's bedtime usually runs kind of somewhere in the middle of all that. So I know my mom's coming over, and that'll probably be it. So I'll probably smoke some wings. We'll probably have a couple other appetizers. Buffalo chicken dip is always
Yep.
a staple. Pizza crescent rolls are always something that's a staple. But and I'm sure we'll try to drum up some squares somewhere, or remotely, I guess, and we'll try to figure all
There
that
you
out.
go.
But I'm gonna do a lot of my betting on Betonline this year, taking the 2-leg parlay with the Eagles in the over, and then sprinkling some prop bets in there, maybe taking a couple of 2-leg prop bet parlays and stuff like that, and just seeing where I can go, $5 here, $5 there, and seeing what I can come up with.
That's gonna be the move for me because I'm gonna have some fun with this one. Haven't done anything on the Super Bowl, so I'm gonna have some fun with this one this week.
Yeah, no doubt. And I got slaughtered in the NFL season. I just couldn't seem to pick them, man. I would do these same game parlays, and I would get like 3 of the 4 legs. That's probably my problem, doing 4-leg parlays. You can never hit those. You got to stay at 3.
Yeah,
I hit one. The only one I hit was a 3-legger.
Yeah, that it makes me really realize that the NFL is rigged, because how do you hit 3 out of the 4, and that 4th one's like not even close.
And the
Like,
4th
not
one's
like they
always
won
like
by
the
field
easiest
goal
one.
or anything. Yeah, like it's the one that you're like, this is definitely gonna hit.
Yeah,
and it doesn't.
like a
rigged.
Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown. Like
Yeah,
if you
it's
play
rigged.
on another site, or like you set the over under it. The over under is at like 48, and and you take the over, and the game hits at 47. That's like something like that. Like you just need a
Somebody's
field goal.
playing
You
with
can't
numbers.
get it. Yeah, it's like
Absolutely.
Maybe Arian Smith was right. Maybe it is part of the script. Who knows? Yeah. It has to be a tough beat though when Jimmy Garoppolo gets a script year in and year out. And he's like, I'm injured again. Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough beat. But well, we're gonna get out of here, man. Texas, Oklahoma, welcome to the SEC.
Yep.
We hope you enjoy your Super Bowl. It sounds weird for me to say this, but go Eagles, I guess, for the sake of my wallet. We hope you enjoy all of your appetizers. We hope you enjoy the game responsibly and understand that you have to go to work the next day, so don't get too crazy.
Yeah, you do.
That's probably going to fall on deaf ears in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Kansas City, Missouri, but that's neither here nor there. But like I said, you can scope us out anywhere you find your podcast. Spotify is my favorite that I find podcasts on. So you can find us there. You can find us on the SiriusXM app. Apple Podcasts are the 3 most common. You can find us on YouTube if you like that kind of thing, if you like watching it. But if you're driving, I don't suggest you watching it on YouTube, obviously. At Bleav in Dawgs on social media, at Troopstar28. He's an entertaining follow. At Coach Burton36 also as well. But we certainly thank you for listening. We certainly thank you for watching. We are the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Bleav Network, who's live at the Super Bowl. So we wish you we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.
Absolutely.
Peace. Go Dogs.